My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, it was reported in Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim that a man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked him, Mata as-sa'ah? When is the hour? When is the final hour? When will Yawm al-Qiyamah come? Mata as-sa'ah? When is the hour? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he answered him and answered his question with a question, which is more important than his question, and that is, ماذا عددت لها? What have you done to prepare for it? Because this is what's important. This is what is significant, not when the hour is coming, because it's coming as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it very clear in the Quran. But what is significant is, what have we prepared for that hour? What have we prepared for our meeting with Allah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed us the reality of every single human being, all of mankind. The reality of how we're traveling in this dunya, traveling down the path of this life to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When He told us, Ya ayyuhal insanu innaka kadihun. Ya ayyuhal insanu innaka kadihun ila rabbika kadhan famulaqih. Oh man, indeed you are traveling, making much effort to meet your Lord, returning to your Lord, making much effort. You're struggling, you're striving in this dunya. Kadhan famulaqi, and you will meet it. And the scholars of tafsir said, what's meant by you will meet it? Famulaqihi, the dhamir or the pronoun here, said to find your deeds in front of you. Other scholars said no, to meet Allah. And as Imam Ibn Kathir rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, both of these tafsirs include the other. Because when you come Yawm al-Qiyamah, you're going to find your deeds, your a'mal in front of you, and you're going to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So both of these meanings are included in this ayah. From mulaqihi, you're going to find your deeds and you're going to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A message, if we were only to reflect on it, which we receive every single Friday when we read Surah Al-Kahf, which is full of lessons and benefits and reminders. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finishes Surah Al-Kahf, and the last ayah, فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ. Subhanallah, the last message in verse 110 of Surah Al-Kahf. فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ. Whoever has raja, whoever has hope of this meeting with Allah, this meeting that you're going to have with your Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have raja, you have hope, meaning you're hoping you're going to be successful when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What do you need to do if you want to be successful? What are some of the main keys to this success? Allah mentions the two main keys here in this ayah. فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. Then let him do good deeds and not join any partners with his Rabb, with his Lord in his worship. We only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we strive to do as many good deeds as we can. And focus on the issue of our deeds, my dear brothers and sisters. Because the reality of this life, as we're striving and struggling down the path of this life to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the reality is that every single thing we do, we're taking it with us to put it in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Yawm al-Qiyamah, to be held accountable. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told us in the hadith, which was reported in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, of the reality when we come to stand in front of Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah for this great meeting with Allah. He said alayhi salatu wassalam, ما منكم من أحد إلا وسيكلمه ربه. That there's none of you except for that he will speak to his Lord. ليس بينه وبينه ترجمان. There's no intermediary between him and his Lord. Just you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just you and Allah on that great day, standing in front of Allah. And then what is the reality once again of our deeds, of our actions? He said, فَيَنْظُرُ أَيْمَنَ مِنْ فَلَا يَرَى إِلَّا مَا قَدَّمْ. He looks to his right and all he sees is that which he has done. All of his actions, all of his deeds. فَيَنْظُرُ أَشْأَمَ مِنْ فَلَا يَرَى إِلَّا مَا قَدَّمْ. He looks to his left and all he sees is that which he's done. That which he's brought with him for that day, for that meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَيَنْظُرْ تِلْقَى وَجْهِهِ فَلَا يَرَى إِلَّا النَّارِ. And then he looks in front of himself and all he sees is the hellfire. How can we protect ourselves from the hellfire? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, فَاتَّقُوا النَّارِ وَلَوْ بِشِقِّ تَمْرَةٍ. To fear the hellfire, even if it's just with giving half of a date in sadaqah. Meaning once again to do as many good deeds as you can. Strive to do the good deeds while you have the opportunity. And in one narration of the hadith, وَلَوْ أَن تَلْقَى أَخَاكَ بِوَجْهٍ طَلِقٍ. He said to meet if it's just to meet your brother with a nice face. It's a form of sadaqah, the smile in the face of your brother, something that small, meeting your brother with his face. Do as many good deeds as you can. Accumulate as many good deeds as you can while you're in this life. And hold yourself to account. And the beautiful statement of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, when he told us, حَاسِبُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ قَبْلَ أَن تُحَاسِبُوا. To hold yourselves to account before you are held to account. And he said, weigh yourself, meaning weigh your deeds before you are weighed, he said. Meaning to weigh your deeds before they're weighed Yawm al-Qiyamah. This is the opportunity you have now to reflect on your actions, to prepare yourself for this meeting with Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us all from the successful when we stand in front of Him, and protect us all from the torment of the grave, and protect us from Jahannam, and enter us all into the Jannah.